This is Gil Rollins again, and this video is on warm-up sketches. Warm-up sketches are the type of drawings that you do to loosen up before you start some big major project. The first warm-up sketches you saw was a little pencil drawing that I did, and here I took it a step further, and you can carry warm-up sketches. You can come back later and carry them to completion later if you really liked it. This is a color one that I did when I first bought Sketchbook Pro, and I was just testing out the program. Now, what I usually do for warm-up sketches is make all these head studies, character studies of different heads. I try to recall either something that I've seen before in a comic strip, or in a painting, or on TV, or on the subway, or something. Just try to come up with all these different characters. And you know, sometimes you might think of a cowboy, or a man wearing a fedora, or you know, a policeman, or something like that. Anything that gets you going, just to make these sketches. This is what I find fun. Now, it could be something else for you. It could be some sci-fi character, or something like that, or developing space aliens, whatever is fun. The main thing is, the reason for these warm-up sketches are to warm up, to loosen up, to get to a place where you feel like you can take on the major project. And once you've loosened up, it's like when you're exercising and you got to do these warm-ups. You got to loosen up your body in order to go into a full workout. This is the same thing. And this first drawing, in my opinion, was kind of stiff. But that's okay. That's what you're doing. You're going from a point where you're feeling stiff to loosening up, and feeling ready to take on something major. And that's what this is. These are warm-up sketches. You know, and like I said, I try to recall different things as I'm doing these warm-up sketches. I try to recall. This is probably based on a cross between a comic strip and a villainous-looking character, and Indiana Jones with the hat. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I was thinking of. I just know that for this drawing, I wanted to think about the direction of the light, and how do I play with the dark shapes, and so forth. So it doesn't even have to be that deep. You know, here the hat was needed a little adjustment. So I used the lasso tool to readjust the hat, and the eraser, of course. So that was my first sketch. Here I was just doing a profile. I was trying to think of, like I said, different artists. I have so many influences, from John Buscema to Joe Kubert to Neil Adams, to when it comes down to painting, it's John Singer Sargent, whatever. There's so many artists that I like to look at, that influence me. That I'm not saying that this work looks like any of the things that they did, but you know, it's the things that I think about when I make these sketches. You know, I do think about how would someone else do this, or whatever. It's a good reference point. It's a good way of thinking, because if someone solved the problem beforehand, you got to think of, well, how did he do that? You know, I think of the weight of the line, that wherever is thicker is where, you know, where you figure the heavier shadows are. You know, with thinner is where the light is. You know, so that was a profile drawing I did. The next drawing, I really tried to reference Buscema here. I thought about his drawing, and his drawing is so strong. You know, that if you're successful at getting a few of the characteristics, it'll look Buscema-like. What I did is I did reference some of his heads here, in order to get. This is not just a composites of his head. This is part memory, part referencing some of the heads and the features of his drawings. And like I said, his features are so strong that it'll look Placebo-like if you start referencing those features. And also, I had bought some original art by him before, and on his pages that he drew, his comic pages, if you look at the back of it, sometimes you get these sketches, and you can see the way he constructed a head, how the bottom part or the initial lines where he was looking for the skull and he was building everything on top of that. That's why the cheekbones are so strong, and you can see the jawline so well, and so forth with him. It wasn't so much the embellishments that came later, it was the strong drawing underneath all of that that held his drawings together so beautifully. That's why it's good to build up your drawing and not rush right away to the start. See, in all of these drawings, I'm building up the structure underneath. There are a lot of preliminary lines before I start putting in the details, because I'm trying to work not so much towards the embellishments, because there's nothing fancy in the way I'm embellishing these. I'm not doing any fancy lines or anything like that. It's the drawings underneath that I'm trying, the preliminary drawing underneath that I'm trying to build a strong structural base for the drawing. And this is an exaggerated head. I figured I'd go from a Basima type drawing to doing an exaggerated troll drawing, and just making the shapes exaggerate. A small cranium, a big blocky shape for the jaw, and everything like kind of cartoony features and so forth, and just having fun with it. Thinking of Seamus still, thinking of a Kirby a little bit more for the exaggerations. Again, I'm not trying to say that this drawing comes out like either one of them, but you know, they are influences. And when I said Kirby, I meant, of course, Jack Kirby. Again, even in this exaggerated head, it's the drawing underneath that carries it, not so much all of these embellishments, which are not very fancy in my drawing. And lastly, just try to keep it simple here. I'm just trying to use one shape, adding very little tiny things like the chin and the nose here, but basically this head comes out of this one circular shape. I remember it a long time ago. I was looking through a book on Disney drawings, on drawings made by some of the artists at Disney. I think one particular artist, I think his name was Albert Herder, did some drawings for Snow White, and he did a drawing of the witch character in Snow White, and it was just one little circle. It was beautifully drawn, just a very, very simple circle shape, and he pulled the chin and the nose, just as I was doing here, out of that, and made everything fit within that shape, and it looked so simple and so beautiful. I saw that years ago, and I still remember that drawing in my head. And it's helpful to look at other artists and recall things like that, because they're being able to solve problems helps you to include that in your own work. And of course, some of you will come through as well, but you add to your own knowledge by learning from others. And that's it. These are my warm-up sketches. It started from the very stiff drawing at the lower right to the very simple drawing of the head at the upper left. If you like this, I hope you do. Subscribe to my channel. Also, you can visit my blog at artinthebusyworld.blogspot.com. Thank you.